Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to today's edition of the GNI Live YouTube training session. For those of you who were online yesterday, we had a look at geo and mapping and storytelling using Google Earth, as well as a few elements of Google Earth Studio. So today we'll be going through verification. Verification is, of course, the element of news and storytelling where you're making sure that the content that you're referencing for a story is in fact accurate. But as well is also a technique of storytelling that just debunks false information and disinformation, as I referenced in yesterday's session. And just before we start, I'll also be mentioning that tomorrow we'll have a session on data journalism. The day after that, we'll look at environmental journalism, and then Friday we'll wind up with the advanced search. All of this, of course, is happening at the same time, and that is 1:30 GMT time. So just convert that to your time location, and we'll be good to go. Also check out Google Africa's tweets stream tomorrow for more information on the sessions that we'll be having for the remainder of the week. Right, and all right, so as mentioned, my name is Eugene Okumu, teaching fellow for NewsLab in the Sub-Saharan Africa region. My email address is eugenepatrick@google.com. That is in the event that you have any questions to ask about today's session, yesterday's session, or if you want clarification on the sessions that we'll be handling for the remainder of the week. All right, just before we get into the session, I'd like to take us through some of the pillars of the Google News Initiative and why we focus on upskilling journalists. So right off the mark, one of the key priorities of the Google News Initiative is to elevate and to strengthen quality journalism. And this is especially if you consider the advent of fake news and clickbaiting, misinformation, disinformation. So our tools essentially geared towards ensuring that journalists reach their target audience with the accurate information that they look to share with the audiences. The other pillars are to help organizations with evolving business models and drive sustainable growth. And finally, we're also looking at empowering news organizations through technological innovation. This particular pillar has a two-pronged approach to it. We have a team of developers that work towards creating tools, such as some of the ones we'll be looking at today, to enable journalists to innovate and tell stories. But as well, we have our innovation challenge, the Google News Innovation Challenge, that avails funds to journalists, developers, and individuals interested in creating solutions to challenges that hamper news and storytelling online. So to learn more about this, you can visit g.co/news training. This is a sign up for thematic courses designed to help reporters find, verify, and tell news stories for the online audiences. But it will also give you other information such as the beginnings of the Google News Initiative and other areas of why Google is focused on news and information. All right, so today we'll be looking at verification, as I mentioned, and right off the mark, we'll start with fact-checking tools. And the tool that we have is g.co/fact-checking. It's a searchable index for stories that have been fact-checked by reputable partners. So basically what it does is it takes you through a list of requirements for content that has been featured as a fact-check content. And it works with the topics that have been looked at, topics that have already been worked on, as I've mentioned, in fact-checking. And sometimes the question comes up for teams that have used this on why they can't find content that is available there. The simple response to that is that sometimes the content has not been fact-checked or has not been presented to the platform via a process called marking up that enables people interested in finding the information to access it from that point. So the platform itself is Fact Check Explorer. And I'll show us what that looks like in a minute. So the URL for it, as I've mentioned, is g.co/factcheck or toolbox.google.com/factcheck explorer. So this is what the platform looks like. You have a few options that you can look at. On the left side, you have the Explorer itself, where you can key in the particular keywords that you're interested in having a look at. Below that search panel, you also have recent fact checks. So this one is on what has been marked up most recently. But you also have the Markup Tool under that. So the Markup Tool will basically talk you through how to get your content featured on the platform. But it basically requires your web admin or your webmaster to add you to your domain's search console. So the Google Search Console is where your email or your article will be added so that you can then submit articles through the markup process for being to be featured in the Google Search, rather the fact check platform. And then you also have the API, which enables you to submit content for review. Yeah, so those are the three options you have when you log into the fact check platform. So for the Explorer, as I've mentioned, you can look at a host of topics. So if we look at COVID-19 Africa, for example, you can see that these are some of the articles that have been submitted as fact checks for how the pandemic in Africa, in the African region. So a few things to note is you'll have the title of the particular fact check that you're looking at, and then you'll have the organization that has conducted the fact checking and their analysis of the claim. And then you also have the option of viewing the article, also the tags for the particular article that is being featured here. So here, in this case, it's coronavirus on the BBC. And then here you also have a claim by multiple sources on a fact check conducted by AFP. Their rating of it, of course, is misleading, as you can see. Then you also have South Africans can refuse COVID-19 isolation. It will also occasionally show you a timestamp. So this one was conducted 5 days ago. You have the option to view the article. Then you also have the tags, coronavirus disease 2019 South Africa and AFP fact check, and so on and so forth. So this works pretty much for any topic for as long as it has had a fact check article done on it and it has been presented or marked up to be featured on the Fact Check Explorer platform. All right, so from there we'll then proceed to our presentation. Right, and from here we'll also look at verification tools, and particularly we're interested in images at this juncture. So on screen we see a photo of a gentleman. In one frame you can see that there's a photo of a very pristine looking mountain range, and in the next photo, as it slides through, you can see that there's an image of a hand holding a cigarette. So the context behind this particular image is that this is the Austrian Chancellor, and he was at a press conference in which they were handling questions on environmental safety and conservation. So his social media team altered the image which you see of the person smoking a cigarette, and included an image of the Alpine ranges, so that it was more environmental conscious. So this is just one particular instance in which photo manipulation is done to sort of alter a particular story of interest to audiences. Another example here is the chairperson of a conservation group in Canada. And what happened here was that she, in this particular photo, she was seen using a single-use cup, but the team handling her public relations changed it to show that she had a reusable cup, just to change the messaging that she was environmentally conscious. And then this particular photo is a tech summit that happened in Italy. And as you can see, the one photo is mostly male-dominated actually. Then the next photo has two women that were included in the image after the fact, to show that there was some gender diversity at the tech summit. So for this and how you can find out whether the image was, whether an image has been altered or there's a variety of images to it, you can go to the images.google.com platform. It's basically Google image search, and this enables you to find out whether an image has been doctored. And at this juncture, I would like to show us a quick demo of how that works. And as well, the two ways that you can use the platform to try and find out whether an image has been changed. And I can quickly mention those even as I set up the demo, that one of the ways you can find out is you can upload an image directly to the platform. But as well, if you're using the Chrome browser, you simply right-click on the image and on an image of interest, and then you can search for the image in Google. And I will show us how that is done. So on screen right now, we have the Google Images platform open. So you can see it is similar in layout to your regular Google search, but this one has a photo icon, a microphone, and the magnifying lens. So I have prepared an example from Kenya. And what you can do is you can click on the camera icon. So the two options, as I mentioned, you can paste the image URL or you can upload an image directly. So I will proceed to choose the file that I want to demo for this particular session. All right, so once you have your image selected from your drive or from your local storage, it will usually take a few seconds to search, and then it will give you results for the image that you're looking at. So as well, you can see that a keyword that goes with this image is Kenya security. It will tell you about how many results that have been found and the duration of the search. And then you'll also have other information such as the image size, and it will give you options for other sizes of the particular image you're looking at. Then again, possible related searches, so Kenya security, as has been mentioned up at the top. Then other links to information about Kenya and security. So in this case, we're looking at government, the UK government, safety and security, and Kenya travel advisory. And then as we scroll down a bit lower, you can see that there's visually similar images. So this is part of artificial intelligence that can recognize that because the particular image we uploaded had uniformed personnel, there's other images available online that also contain images pertaining to armed personnel. Then pages that included matching images, it will also show you those varieties of information. So something to mention, we have uploaded the image, and because there's content about the image available online, you can see that when we hover the cursor over the particular image, the shape of the icon of the cursor changes. So whereas on the outside it's an arrow, on the inside it's a hand. So it's that signifies that the image can be interacted with. So all we'll then do on that is click on the image, give it a few seconds to load, and then we have a page that shows us a variety of images, all with a bit of a similar visual layout to them. So on the one instance, you have an image of armed personnel. At the foreground, you have a gentleman with a maroon beret holding an AK-47 rifle in uniform. In the middle ground, you also have another gentleman in uniform similar to the one in the foreground, and at the very background, you can see, though blurry, a bit of a similar layout of the imagery. So that's one of the search results we've gotten. But if we click to the original image that we uploaded, you can see that at the foreground, you have a gentleman in dreadlocks with a firearm. Then the middle ground, a gentleman with a red maroon beret, a firearm as well, and a uniform. So that's how you can tell that an image may have been altered or presented in a manner to suggest a different type of story. So the background behind this particular image that we're showing right now is that at the height of the 2017 general elections, there are allegations that the government had employed the services of militia to quell protests against the declared presidential outcomes in 2017. So one of the other interesting facets about Google image search is that whereas you have images that may be altered, sometimes depending on how image content has been indexed online, you can have a clear insight onto which image appears first online between what you may have searched and found to have been altered. So in this case, if you look at the very first instance of this image that appeared online, it's the image of the soldier in the foreground wearing a red beret, as opposed to the alleged soldier in the foreground in dreadlocks. So that's just another facet of how you can use Google image search to better understand how images have appeared online. All right, as I switch over to the slides, sometimes you're also looking at images that may just have been changed in regard to context and are actually telling a story of are actually telling the story that is contained in the image, only that, for instance, the location may be erroneous, or the timeline of the particular event that you're looking at may be in error. And the next example we're looking at is one such incident in which a photo was alleged to have been taken in one place, but through reverse image search was found to have been taken elsewhere. So here we're looking at a tweet posted on 13th of June 2019 at 7:24 p.m. The caption of the image in the tweet reads, "This protester in Hong Kong returned tear gas with a tennis racket," and then attributes the picture to Reuters. And if you look closely at the bottom right of the image itself, you can see that the photo has the Reuters badge to it. So that gives it a measure of credibility with respect to the source of the image itself. But in actual sense, this is an image that was taken 3 years prior. And the location of the photo was in fact in France. So on the left, the image is alleged to have been taken from Hong Kong, and a protester returning the tear gas canister with a tennis racket. On the right, you can see that this is a photo of the year from 2016 taken by Reuters. The caption of it reads, "A protester uses a tennis racket to return a tear gas canister during a demonstration to protest government's proposed labor law reforms in Nantes, France." This was June 2nd, 2016. The photo is taken by Reuters. The particular photographer is Stéphane Ma. So this is just one example of how an image can be used for the wrong context. So in this regard, both are referencing a protest, but the one on the left is, of course, talking about some more recent protests, but the one on the right is showing when the photo was actually taken. All right, this is another example of how images can be taken out of context. This is a tweet by Portuguese footballer Cristiano Ronaldo. And he posted this at the height of the Amazon forest fires in 2019. His caption, "The Amazon rainforest produces more than 20% of the world's oxygen, and it's been burning for the past 3 weeks. With a call to action, it's our responsibility to save our planet. Pray for Amazonia." This image is in fact an aerial view of the Time Ecological Station on fire. Again, this is also an image taken from about 6 years ago. And the caption of it is aerial view of Time Ecological Station on fire in Rio Grande do Sul state. This is in southern Brazil. A photograph was taken on March 27, 2013. So this also just shows you how disinformation is, anybody can fall victim to images online and the inaccuracies therein. This is another image that on occasion has caused confusion online. The question is always asked of where the location is, and anybody who has grown up watching a lot of TV is familiar with the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. So this image is in fact the April 25th bridge in Lisbon, Portugal. And I'll quickly jump into a tab to show you how the two images are visually similar. All right, so what you're seeing on screen is images of the April 25th bridge in Lisbon, Portugal. And then I'll quickly perform a search of the Golden Gate Bridge, which is located in San Francisco. And if you look at the images, you can see why, for instance, there's a lot of confusion about which bridge is which. Right, so what I had on screen previously was the Golden Gate Bridge. This is now the April 25th bridge. And you can see that though they have some visually similar elements to them, the terrain around them, for instance, is a bit different. The structures of the bridges themselves are a bit different. So those are just some of the ways that you can use Google search to pretty much find out if an image you're looking at online is in fact accurate, or rather has been altered to tell a different narrative from what is actually contained in the image itself. Right, so this is again an image this is another instance in which you can use image search to find out the context of a particular image. So this is a photo of a person smoking on a pipe, and sometimes you probably have a lead about a story that is centered around a particular individual, and perhaps you have been sent for an image, but you're not sure of whether this is the image you're looking, this is the right person you're looking at. So reverse Google image search also enables you to find out the identity of the person in the image. This, for example, is former South African President Thabo Mbeki in his younger days, when he was one of the champions for the independence of South Africa. So that's another way in which you can use image search to find out about content you're looking at in an image. So what you have on screen right now is a platform under development by Google and Jigsaw that works to enable people to tell what elements of an image may have been manipulated. It is under test, and we're working with some partner publishers, so we're not really taking up any more partners to work with at the moment, because a few elements of development need to be looked at before we can widen the pool of who we're testing the platform with. But it works to tell you the particular elements of an image that may have been altered. So you can reach out to the Jigsaw team for updates on how the platform is developing thus far. So we also have verification tools that we can look at, and especially for video as well, just to be able to tell whether you're looking at accurate content within a video. So on screen, we have a video, and pay particular attention to the top left side of the screen as the video rolls on. I'll play it again just so you can have a look at what's happening in the video. All right, so this is basically a video that shows a gentleman holding on to a baby crocodile, and then at the top left, there seems to be another crocodile moving towards him. So to find out whether the video you're looking at is in fact accurate, there's a platform called Invid, which enables you to check whether a video is giving you accurate information. And as well, because of the challenges of accuracy and disinformation with images, videos also just compound the matter further. So I'll show us the platform I've mentioned, Invid, which you can use in the event that you're interested in finding out whether a video you're looking at has been altered. All right, so a few things to note about the platform. If you can see on screen, you have options. So you have the tools themselves, you have tutorials, you have a classroom where you can really learn how to a deep dive on the tools and the platform itself. Then you have quizzes to just help you find out, to sharpen your skills at identifying information contained within videos. Then there's information about the platform itself. So you have analysis, you have keyframes, you have thumbnails, you have a Twitter search, you have a magnifier. You also have the option of looking at metadata, video copyright, and forensics. So for the particular video I've shown us, we'll jump straight into analysis. I had pre-copied the link to the video. So I'll just quickly select on that and then hit submit. Then it will take a few seconds to load. And then once done, it gives you a few details about the video. So it will give you the title of the video. There you have a cute baby alligator. And then it ends with a run. And then the video description uploaded to Twitter by Rex Chapman. #Rex Chapman. Then it shows you the video count, like count, dislike count, duration, and then license content is false. So that will tell you that the alleged scene where a crocodile is about to pounce on the gentleman holding the baby alligator is inaccurate. And then it will also show you upload time. So it will show you that this was uploaded on the 29th of July, 2019 at about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So you also have the option of converting that to local time. Yeah, so you also have the option of converting that to local time, and then it will also give you the channel description, Beefcake Platypus, the date when the channel was created. This was in 2011 in October, in October on the 13th, and it went live at 2:44 p.m. in the afternoon. So channel view count, it has had 800,000 views across all videos, and the type of channel, it's a YouTube channel. Location of the channel is in the US. And it will also tell you it has had 28 videos uploaded, number of verification comments, 1. Then as you scroll to the bottom of it, it will show you respective thumbnails for the particular video that we're looking at. And yeah, it will show you thumbnails of the particular video you're looking at, and here you can actually select the image of interest, and then click on Google Images to see if you can find matching images. So that's how the platform also works, to give you insights into whether a video has been altered or not. And it works pretty similarly to the reverse image search that we've looked at, because as well, once you've generated the thumbnails on the videos, you can then get to perform a reverse image search on which respective thumbnails can be looked at for similar content online. So here we're also looking at another example of misinformation around contexts, and this is for videos. So here we have Sandra the orangutan, and a Twitter user posted the video and said Sandra the orangutan started washing her hands because she saw all the zookeepers doing it repeatedly during the COVID-19 crisis. So the tweet ends with wash your hands, be more like Sandra. So if you perform a reverse search of when the image was actually uploaded, you'll find that it was first uploaded a month before the pandemic was declared. So whereas the depiction of the orangutan washing hands is accurate, the context under which the image has been captioned is in fact inaccurate. So as well, we look at verification from open source intelligence, and this is basically a division of verification in which people are looking at content through readily available platforms online. So first up, we'll look at a story that was done in Cameroon by the BBC. And the title of the story is Anatomy of a Killing, done by the BBC African Eye. And what it was basically looking at was a story about 2 women and 2 children that were killed by men in military uniform. And in the early days of the video surfacing, the Cameroonian government had been questioned about it, and they dismissed it as fake news. But eventually, through use of such platforms as Google Earth and another platform by the name of suncalc.org, the BBC was able to verify that the killings did in fact happen in Cameroon, and were able to get to the timeline of when the killings actually happened, as well through use of social media of various persons within the video. I'll quickly show us the Twitter stream for those of us who are interested in looking at it. It's still available on the BBC's Twitter handles, and it shows you, it breaks down how the story was done and how they were able to hold the Cameroonian government to account. So that is the Twitter feed, You can see it was posted in September of 2018. Right, so the other story that we're also going to look at from a verification perspective is another Twitter thread that shows how verification can be done. Here we're looking at a gentleman who got to see photos claiming to have been taken in Venice, in Italy, allegedly at the height of the coronavirus pandemic, where somebody had claimed that the waters are flowing through the channels in Venice very clear for the first time, and fish are visible, and that swans are also returning to the canals. So he starts, because of a massive verification, that's weird fun. Here's a little thread of geolocating these photos that people are claiming aren't from Venice. So if you follow the thread on Twitter by Elliot Higgins, it shows you some steps towards verification of images through geolocating them. So he points out that you can start with looking at various elements of a photo. For example, some very obvious geosigns, like in this case, where we're looking at the canals or sections of the canals in Venice or Burano, for that matter, where you might have a footbridge intersecting. So he goes through the process of checking for this, and uses Google Maps to find Burano 1, and then also check for footbridges, and find out through Street View whether the location claimed in the photo is the actual one. So in this case, he does a side-by-side comparison of the footbridge, which is visible in both images. And in the background, you can see a building painted burgundy with grayish green looking window panels. And then next to it is another building, looks creamish yellow, that has had some damage to the paint. So he breaks down that the first image is in fact from Burano and not in Venice, as has been claimed in the original images. So the Twitter thread goes on to look at other facets, and even goes into the more challenging images, where you have very few instances of evidence that can give you pointers to where the bridge is, and the content of the images are from. So this is the example of just taking us through of the initial tweet. An unexpected side effect of the pandemic: water is flowing through the canals of Venice, clear for the first time in forever, and fish are visible and swans have returned. So those are some of the ways in which you can use open source intelligence to verify that the content contained in imagery is in fact accurate. Right, so if you have any questions on trainings or tools, you can contact newslabsupport@google.com. And if you have questions about today's session, as I showed you before, my email is eugenepatrick@google.com. Feel free to reach out for further guidance on how you can use verification tools. As well, in case you're interested in trainings on Google Hangouts to individual newsrooms, feel free to reach out through newslabsupport@google.com. And then the next GNI live training session will be tomorrow afternoon or evening, depending on what time zone you're in. That's the 29th of July at 1:30 p.m. GMT time, and we'll cover data journalism. So thank you so much once more for having logged into today's session. We're always happy to assist, and please check out tomorrow's session as well on data journalism. The day after that, we'll be looking at environmental journalism, and we'll conclude the week with a bit of advanced search. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you tomorrow. So enjoy your evening or afternoon. Thank you.